What is going on, true believers? Gary Gensler. You bug-eyed. I'm being rude. Gary Gensler's not bug-eyed. His twin brother is. So a U.S. judge ordered the SEC to pay 1.8 million or billion dollars. It's kind of unclear at this point in legal fees. It was originally 1.8 billion. Now it's 1.8 million. They're paying the legal fees for DebtBOX for whatever crazy thing it was. Now, originally, when it was last night, it was what is a stupid name? Whale Guru, Whales.guru. They reported that it was 1.8 billion. In fact, it might be 1.8 million. And that thumbnail, that might not be right, except for that's what you get when you follow Whales.guru or whatever the goddamn website is called, Watcher.guru. When you follow Watcher.guru, what you get is lied to because that's who they are. And it's what they do. It's by the way, it's why I don't follow them. It's why when I get information from them, I look at it and I'll report it to you and I'll say, hey, you know what, this is coming out, but it's so difficult to trust them, to be honest with shit. So, but Dog with Hat continues to surge and pump. Myro continues to surge and pump. BlackRock continues to accumulate and is now the largest spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States, passing up Grayscale. Bitcoin is more relevant in the 2024 election, according to Grayscale as well. Ethereum options are peaking in volume on the CME, and we've got a wild sort of scenario, and I'm going to get conspiracy crazy with you on Deie. If you follow me, then you know that I like this project, that I'm a holder of this project, that I did a video on it about a month ago. And I've been trying to cover it a little bit every single day because I think that this thing is probably going to pop and there's going to have a lot of value to it at some point coming. So, and then there's a few pieces that kind of got thrown out. And I mean, might as well come and check it out. So, the other thing, the best part, and by the way, this is something that's important that should let you know what's about to come now. And I can't tell you exactly what the position is yet. We'll try to figure it out on the charts in just a few minutes to kind of give you where is your entry position for Bitcoin at this point. We'll kind of look at it and see, what can it look like. However, what I got to tell you right now, long-term Bitcoin holders have been reaccumulating for the first time since last December. What does that mean? That means holy shit is probably about to happen. Why does it mean that? Well, we'll check that out and more right after we do this sick intro, bro.
I can read a chart like a Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night. I plot some Bitcoin because I see the light. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me, please, I'll do any charts you want me to. They call me, please, I'll break the crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I built a crypto channel streaming live at night, and I'm the only YouTube streamer who's always right. Every morning I go and say to all you guys, don't fall for all these motherfuckers and their lies. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me, please, I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me, please, I'll break your crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you.
All right, guys, about to get crazy in here, wilding out in this biatch. So I heard that somewhere. So good morning to you. If you good morning, if you don't good morning, I don't care. Good morning to you anyway. If it's good evening for you, good morning. If it's good afternoon for you, good morning. I don't care. It's good morning because whatever. You know what I mean. You get it. Look, if you're going long on Bitcoin, you might be in for a good entry position. I don't think that's the case. We're going to look at that. We're going to try to move a little bit faster. I don't feel like I'm getting all of the information out to you as quickly as possible. So let's get to it. First of all, we're going to start off with good morning. Brian Bootyhead says good morning. Rug award for me. I don't know what he got into, but damn. Masonic Mike, what is going on? Neko Army still pumping. Ken Gillette, good morning, brother. Good morning to you. Richard Caldwell, good morning. Blockchain Bonehead, what is going on? Real life miracle in the house from Team Tom and the Meow Space. Kai Schlott is in the house. Hi, all. I see what you did there. VK, good morning. Trail Boss, good morning. Justin W, Kathleen Blaze, Greg Ward, good morning. Hammerside, good morning. Tony P in the house. RW7610. Oh my God, just snaked you in the house. Vader Prime is here. Jay Locke, Aaron Thompson, Jay Manuel. We got Jeff T in the house. Timsky. We got Poe. We got Arton. All right. Artnet for God damn it. The art guy is here. Good morning. We've got Lucky Jay-Z here volting it up. Remember, I am still volted AF. Abimbola Janet is in the house. Lee Marcus, Justin W. We got Willard Morris. Robert Freeman is in the house. We've got Ryo here. Remington Perot, Washington Hearts veteran. Washington Hearts. God damn it. Washington Heights. I said Warsh. WARS. God damn it, please get your shit together. Washington Heights veteran from the Dominican Republic in the house. Good morning to everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Let's kick this off. Gary Gensler is the biggest loser. It's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Gary Gensler, why don't you make like a tree and go fuck yourself? You know what I mean? Like, that's the way that I see it. I don't know how you see it. Crypto and Recovery is in the house. Good morning. He of the Lake is in the house. We've got a whole bunch of people in here kicking it off today. Gary Gensler, you lowbrow dirtbag. Again, you're not bug-eyed. Your brother is. Your twin brother. The brother that looks just like you. He's the bug-eyed one. Your eyes, they're fine. Don't look at me, SEC. You know what I mean? I'm not a security. Of course, I could do your security detail. You know what I mean? Anyway, so here's what's going on. U.S. judge has ordered SEC to pay $1.8 million, according to Watcher Guru, $1.8 billion, which got me doing this shit on my screen. But he's ordered to pay $1.8 million in legal fees for the DebtBOX case. U.S. federal judge ordered the SEC to pay $1.8 million in legal fees to DebtBOX. They initially filed a complaint against DebtBOX in July 2023. In an order filed on Tuesday, Utah District Court Judge Robert Shelby ruled that the SEC needs to pay the attorney fees and relevant legal fees. In this order, the court ensures the final amount of fees requested by defendants and the receiver is reasonable. In another Tuesday filing, the judge ruled that the case had been dismissed without prejudice as per SEC's request. The commission argues dismissal without prejudice is appropriate because it will protect investors and the public interest and will not cause defendants legal prejudice. The court has imposed sanction on the SEC, requiring them to cover the attorney fees and costs from DebtBOX incurred during this legal battle. This is a significant step forward towards justice and transparency. This means the case is closed, and any future action by the SEC would have to go through Judge Shelby. So, and in July of 2023, the SEC had filed a complaint against DebtBOX, accusing it of defrauding investors of at least $49 million. The federal judge, however, previously criticized the SEC in a March filing, particularly in the agency's conduct in getting a temporary restraining order, which included an asset freeze and a court-appointed receiver to assume control of the company, you know, like Discover Crypto. In April, two SEC lawyers who were heading the case against DebtBOX reportedly resigned after the Utah judge said the case was marred by false statements and misrepresentation. Remember, there were two attorneys that we had talked about before that had resigned from the SEC in April because they could not, in good conscience, continue to do business as an SEC as SEC personnel because they did not believe that what they were doing was right, true, and honest. And that is SEC Gary Gensler screwing you over, the consumer, for his vendetta, which suddenly has changed, right? The SEC said in December that it made inaccurate statements, saying it fell short of the expectations to be accurate and candid in court. They lied to the American people. They lied to the courts. They lied to you, the consumer, about everything that was going on in the DebtBOX case, and now they are ordered to pay for it. So a fantastic outcome for DebtBOX. Now, again, this doesn't change the focus of the SEC. This is just another example of Gary Gensler, who calls the lowest win percent in SEC history. Hey, we're doing a great job. We're doing a great job. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy what is happening with this. So, but moving on, Dog with Hat. Dog with Hat is a 40% rally as it nears its all-time high. And guys, I've told you, I think that it's going to do, it's going to have this big sort of move. We've been charting it, and look what the chart says right here. It says that we were due for a breakout. This is a daily chart, by the way. And what did it do? It broke out, hit 410 a little bit. It looks like overnight hit about $4.10. So, big moves happening over here for Dog with Hat. What else? Myro did the same. I told you guys to look at this box right here, that this box would be a predicator of whether or not it continues. And what did it do? It came back here for a retest, bounced off, it closed above the box, and then proceeded to continue on, coming all the way up last night to 31 cents. So 31 cent Myro, guys, it was a couple days ago. We were sitting here at 17 cents. And I was telling you guys, something big's about to happen with Myro. You might want to check it out. And boom, here we are. Now, will it continue on? I don't know if it's going to continue on right now, but it's looking good so far. So one of the surprising newcomers of the year, of course, is Dog with Hat. 40% rally up to $4.09. The asset has seen its trading volume surge by as much as 30% over the last day. Although it decreased in some recent hours, it will stand above 1.3 million. The asset continues to surge. Now, all eyes are on the previous record of $4.85 and whether it could be poised to surpass that. And remember, Coin Codex gave you a prediction of $10 going into the second week of June. So it is possible that Dog with Hat is set and ready to actually follow through on what the charts indicate that it would do. I don't think that it will, but I'm not Coin Codex. And to be fair here, there's so much trading going on right now in Solana. When you look at the volume of trading that's happening right now, then you can't get anything but excited about it because it would seem, or it would look like, maybe this is explosive. Maybe there's an explosive move getting ready to happen when you look at it, right? I don't know for sure. I can tell you this: if you look at the volume of trading, it's still this is 1.48 billion in trading volume. Now, look at Ethereum here, by the way, 3.35 billion in trading volume yesterday. Arbitrum 564 million, Base 356 million. All of that's, of course, Rodney's token. 209 million on BSC, moving down the list. So it really seems like Solana is the place. So, I mean, barring Ethereum, look, guys, we can talk about Solana all we want, but until Solana has more protocols, and the total value locked, by the way, that's the big number, right? Total value locked for Solana, 4.8 billion, but on Ethereum, 65 billion locked, Tron, 8 billion locked, BSC, 5.5 billion locked. So Solana's still got some room to grow and get into the real part of the game. And then, of course, here's the stable coins that are available in each one of these ecosystems. 79 billion in Ethereum, 56 billion in Tron, 5 billion sitting in BSC. So Solana still down here at 3 billion. So Solana, again, has some growing to do. It's still a very young sort of chain, but it's going to have a moment when we get to this next. Look, we're going to start with there's a new paradigm that's building for Solana. And I want to say that it is my belief that we're looking at probably a $700 or $800 Solana at the end of this bull run. That's a pretty big move for one of these coins. And by the way, if it did that and it went to 750, it would actually be in par with the current market cap of Ethereum. So that's why I think that everybody should be bullish on Solana. I think it's an easy, if you got $100,000 at the end of this, you're going to have $500,000 on Solana. If you have $1 million, you're going to have 5 million on Solana. You know what I mean? So that's what I think is going to happen. I mean, I don't know, but I sure think so. And it's going to be things like Dog with Hat. It's going to be things like Myro. It's going to be things like Saitama on Sol. It's going to be things that, these continued meme coins that continue to bring attention will cause builders to come and build, because guess what? The people with legitimate projects that are building on each one of these chains, they come here because of the volume, because of the users, And the number 2 user base right now is Solana. So there's going to be more building over here. And it's not going to be just meme coins. It's already not meme coins, but that's the one that takes up the oxygen in the room at this point. So keep watching out for Dog with Hat to have another big run. Also, BlackRock now owns the largest spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States. BlackRock has finally made history. They have $20 billion in Bitcoin. The development certainly speaks to the influence BlackRock maintains in the traditional finance structure. So yesterday, let's look at the flows real quick, and you guys can get an idea of what that looks like. And you can see here that on Monday there was a zero flow, but then on Tuesday you had Grayscale losing 105 million, but it all came over to iBit. It all came over to 102 million, and then we had a positive day of 45 million. We don't have the results for today, of course, because today just started. But Monday, of course, I should have said Monday was a holiday, so there was no trading volume. Tuesday, another 45 million coming in. Now, the one thing that I will say is that probably means that the streak right now of what is this? I want to say maybe 9 or 10 days in a row that it's been positive, probably going to come to an end, because we saw this 250, 220, 230, 300. That's the top right there, I think. Then 154, 107. Then we got 251 million, but I think that's an outlier. I think this number right here last Friday was an outlier because it was the end of it was the last Friday of, is it the last Friday of the month? No, but it was one of those big closeout days. So we got a nice little pump going off of that. And of course, I think we got, the Ethereum news was helping all of this. Now we had a zero. Now we have 45 million coming in on this day. This is going to be probably a red day, or it'll be another rebound day, like 107 to 251. Like, it might be a rebound day. But the important thing is more Bitcoin being taken off of, and by the way, being taken off exchanges, but also there was a recent estimate that 6 million Bitcoin have already been lost that will never be recovered in wallets right now. So I think that this is and by the way, we got some Deie news that's coming out very, very shortly. So you guys might want to stay tuned for that, because and we're not putting, and by the way, just putting pieces together. We don't have any information, nothing that's going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, but some eagle eyes were looking around, and stick with me. I'm going to show you. Anyway, so BlackRock is now the number 1 overall. Then that leads us to Bitcoin. Says that in their recent survey, this is Grayscale, their recent survey says that Bitcoin increasingly relevant in the 2024 election. Now, is it Bitcoin that's the litmus test of the election? No, it's the broad cryptocurrency market. Grayscale, of course, is a Bitcoin maxi, so they're going to put it into that context. But what this really represents is your freedom from government control. I was looking at, by the way, if you guys didn't see, as I was driving home the other day, I ran into a Ben Armstrong Bitcoin machine. If you didn't see it, let me see if I can find it real quick. But I ran into a Ben Armstrong Bitcoin machine, like SOB. You can't believe when this kind of shit happens. Like, boom, there it is. So driving north through Indiana towards Chicago, and I go into a restaurant because I'm like, or a stop, because I'm like, I gotta pee. I'm gonna grab myself a water, and boom, I come walking out, and who's staring me in the face? A Ben goddamn Armstrong. So then I took a picture. I sent it to him, and of course they thought it was hilarious. And he shared it on, on his stuff as well. But the funny thing was, just out of nowhere, you never know when this stuff's going to happen. But the point is, Bitcoin is not the only thing that this is about. It's about freedom. It's about your freedom from the government controlling you. And when I saw that machine, it reminded me I could just put cash into that machine, buy a little bit of Bitcoin, and once I'm done with that, then, and by the way, you have to KYC yourself when you do it. But I put a little bit of money in, I can buy some Bitcoin, and it'll create a wallet for me, and then I can just access my wallet from anywhere. You know what I mean? So it seems like a really good, really interesting sort of purpose and idea. And then I realized, you know what? Even in that, the government's going to track you. Then I was standing yesterday, because if you remember, I like these lemonade strips that I do the caffeine-free ones now, by the way. I cut out caffeine, or a little bit of caffeine. I still drink one in the morning, green tea instead of coffee, but I cut out caffeine from my life as well. gross. And when I did that, I went in, I bought the lemonade strips, and I was like, it'd be cool if I could just pay this with Bitcoin. Then I realized I can't pay that with Bitcoin because it would take forever for a transaction to process because we don't have, speedy processors for Bitcoin, meaning that we need a faster blockchain. And then it would have to be a permission blockchain for the banks to get into. And this is why we're getting into Deie very shortly. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm building up to that. So Grayscale says that 32% of voters said they are more open to learning about crypto as an investment. This may be supported by the fact that the largest chunk of voters, 28%, chose inflation as the most pressing issue in the upcoming election. Geopolitical tension, polarizing political discourse, and continuing inflation have led more U.S. voters to seek Bitcoin, but also major developments surrounding the tokens include the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF. It seems clear that crypto will increasingly be considered by policymakers and candidates across all offices that are preparing to run for office in the 2024 election. And it is incredible. It is incredible at this point that somebody like Elizabeth, Jocahontas, young Buffalo Wool, whatever her fucking name is, Warren, was anti-crypto. And she thought, oh, this is the play. This is the move. What we should do is alienate the kids and the young people under 48. That's how we're going to get reelected. It's the stupidest person I've ever seen. How do you get that checked out of reality unless you get paid by banks to lie, cheat, and deceive people? And then I realized, oh shit, yeah, that is the government. That's actually the government. God damn it. You know what I mean? Didn't make any sense until I thought of it that way. When you're in on it, when you're in on the grift, then you just continue to help them grift. And again, I do have this kind of expose thing that I want to do for you guys. And it's one of the founders of Ethereum, and he's really talking about all the crazy stuff that's happening, why he thinks that the government, who attacked him at one point, why they lost their case. This is the only, at this point, this is like one of the only cases the S.E.C. lost. This goes back before Gary Gensler's, before the constant taking an L was part of the S.E.C.'s way of doing business. And he was really adamant that he thought there was a vast sort of conspiracy, not malicious, by the way, just that, all of these people, they're trying to slow down the spread of cryptocurrency until they can do it for themselves, until they own it. That's what they're looking to do. They want to control the Bitcoin. If they control the Bitcoin, they control the narrative. If they control the narrative, then they control you, and then they can keep tracking you, and they can make sure that they know exactly where your money is at all times. Not a conspiracy. It's kind of a reality. Anyway, Ethereum options trading volume peaked on CME, and they hit a new peak. Now, CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, by the way. It's where shorts started, basically. Monthly trading volumes of Chicago Mercantile Exchange options on Ether Future have reached an all-time high this month. The trading volume of options on Ether Futures on the CME reached 1.26 billion for May, with 2 days remaining in the month. This represents a significant increase compared to April's volume of 615 million. And the all-time high, I mean, it's already broken the all-time high, and there's a couple days left in the month. So, according to Wintermute, Ether's implied volatility, which measures market expectations for future volatility in specific time periods based on options price, experienced a notable surge due to heightened expectation for significant price movement. Now, the question at this point is, will that continue? No, I don't know whether it continues or not. We're reporting what already happened. So don't consider the fact that this trading volume hit a peak in May to be a bullish sentiment in and of itself, because this could be the end result of a big pump. So don't forget that when you're making your investment. This does not mean buy Ethereum right now. If anything, and at best, it would be like, look at a chart, try to find where you think a dip is going to happen, what that range is for the dip. Spoiler alert, I think it's around 35 or 36. That would make me a little bit more comfortable getting back in. There's got to be a moment where you come back down. And in fact, I think the come down, if you do a fib retracement, probably going to check in 32, 33. So there is probably some downward pressure that could continue to happen on it in a short period of time. And then we'll see another explosive sort of rally, in my opinion. So we'll see whether or not that maintains. But Let's move on. Long-term Bitcoin holders, and this is the kind of news that you really are looking for. Long-term Bitcoin holders reaccumulating for the first time since last December. According to Glassnode, selling pressure from long-term Bitcoin holders has cooled significantly, and investors are returning to accumulation patterns. Analysts also noted that Bitcoin's price action over the past 3 months has been more muted than previous bull cycles. Long-term Bitcoin holders are starting to reaccumulate for the first time since December of 23 after multiple months of selling. Residing just shy of its all-time high, Bitcoin continues to consolidate, with long-term holders beginning to reaccumulate for the first time since December of 2023. The report also identified market indicators that suggest a return of buy-side demand. Glassnode illustrated this by saying that last week, US-based spot Bitcoin ETF experienced a net inflow of 242 million per day. That's what we just talked about. Considering the natural daily sell pressure by miners since the halving of 32 million per day, ETF buy pressure is almost 8 times larger, which highlights the size and scale of the ETF impact. Glassnode also says this is going to be a more tempered bull cycle. Glassnode observed that Bitcoin price action over the past 3 months has been more muted than prior bull cycles. However, they're wrong. That's not true. Well, actually, it could. It would be, because the volatility is lower. So maybe that is true. So let's not. I don't want to dismiss that right away. According to Glassnode, over the past 3 months, Bitcoin has recorded weekly, monthly, and quarterly gains of over 3.3%, 7.4%, and 25.6 on only 5 out of the last 90 days. In prior cycles, this count reached between 18 and 26 days, which suggests that current market may be somewhat more measured relative to historical bull markets. So what that means, of course, is that the sell pressure is not there, I think, as much as it was before, because the ETF is here to stop some of the sell pressure. Bitcoin has decreased by 0.7% in the past 24 hours and was trading at 67,610 at 5:39 Eastern time, according to the time this article was done. Currently, Bitcoin is trading at 67,781. Not a whole lot of movement going in this. So when this happens, though, when this is the norm, when you see when you see Bitcoin suddenly getting accumulated by the people who accumulate long term, then, and by the way, if you haven't already, I would encourage you to go to Altcoin Daily. They do an interview with a whale, and that whale talks about, there's chats and stuff like that where these big Bitcoin whales, and there's different situations in which they all kind of work together and certainly can manipulate the price with these private chats and shit like that. So I would be I would go watch that, because I found it to be very intriguing. And Altcoin Daily, I'm not really a fan. I don't really watch much of their stuff, but it happened to pop up on my radar, so I checked it out, and I would encourage you to go check it out as well. But when these Bitcoin accumulators are accumulating, then that means that there is another leg coming, and they know that price about to go up. These guys are the ones that are spending thousands upon thousands upon thousands in technical indicators so that they know exactly what's going on with the price action. Doesn't mean that you should buy today and that you should go long. No, you should look at the chart and you should figure out what the position is, what your risk is, what it looks like. Where is your area where this stuff would maybe bounce off of, or where are you going to find the right sort of price action, if you will. And if we look at the Bitcoin chart right now, then I give you this one as the I think that's kind of the path that we're going to take right now, but we're actually wicking and kind of bouncing off of that little range right now. However, if you look at this from an impulse move on a short term, this impulse move probably checks out that we've completed. The 786 is kind of where we're bouncing off of. If you look at the longer time frames for a breakout, this is a longer breakout. We haven't even come down for a real deep test yet. That deep test would be 62,800. So where are we really? We're gonna have to play it by ear, because this Bitcoin ETF has kind of messed up a lot of this. But if I were to just remove that for now, and let's remove this crazy little wiggle here. So if we were to come back down, if we were to take this as our impulse sort of move right here, right here to right here, then guess what you're going to find? That blue line, that 786 fib is right here at this line that I told you at around 64,000, that's going to be the area to bounce. Now, I'm not telling you that we're not going to keep going from here, that we couldn't just continue on. We'll look at the liquidity map and see if we don't see something at 63,800 in just a little while, 64,000. But after that, then the big liquidity is in this range of 73 to 77. So I would expect that they're going to go after it at some point soon, but they're going to need some help in that regard. So we'll be watching for it to see what happens. But the long-term people are accumulating again, and that means that something is going to happen to the upside long-term. Short-term, we might still see the correction. Also, Ripple has donated $25 million. By the way, this is why Ripple doesn't pump, because they're spending $25 million to pro-crypto political committee Fairshake, which means that they had to sell $25 million worth of XRP in order to fund that initiative. And by the way, if you say, or they say, well, yeah, I mean, but we did that over time. We didn't do that all right now. Yeah, but you still did it. Do you see what I'm saying? So you've had to spend tons of Ripple. It's been tons of XRP in order to fund all these initiatives that you're doing. And that makes it very complicated for XRP to pump. But here's the thing. At some point very, very soon, that's going to have to stop. And Brad Garlinghouse is going to have to take a little bit of responsibility for that purpose. And by the way, I'm not trying to vilify Brad Garlinghouse. I don't think anything bad of him to begin with. But, you continue to fund all these initiatives and you continue to throw money out. You're just taking the money from investors and putting it into whatever vanity or pet project that you have. And I'm not saying that Fairshake is not an important project, but Ripple donate 5 million, and let's get a couple other big cryptos to put in another 5 million. You know what I mean? Like, instead of Ripple just throwing in a big bag to see what happens. That's why the price can't seem to get out of its own way at this point. So it's a good thing overall, but I mean, come on. Now, this is going to get interesting. Okay. PayPal has moved their they put the PYUSD, that's the PayPal USD stablecoin, is now on the Solana blockchain. So now we've got some movement here where PayPal is integrating into the Solana ecosystem, and that is a big step forward for this market overall. Why is it a big step forward? Well, let's talk Deie token. Deie token has more transactions per second than any other blockchain. In fact, there is a video out there right now where you can check it, and it's done 8 million transactions in 1 second. 8 million transactions per second is unheard of for blockchains at this point in this industry, but here we are. So if that is the case, then what is it about these two things that are similar? Well, there was a rumor going around, and if you guys followed one of my spaces that I was in not that long ago, Austin from Block Bytes was hosting it, and they mentioned the 8 million transactions per second, but they also mentioned that there could be a top 10 company in the world that doesn't do enough transactions per second that might be looking to add to their transactions per second. Now, am I saying that it's PayPal? I am not. I'm not saying that that's the case at all. However, it should be noted that Deie, which is the parent company for Deie, for Bitcoin and Ethereum to compete with more mainstream systems like Visa and PayPal, they need to seriously step up their game when it comes to transaction times. While PayPal manages 193 transactions per second and Visa 1,667 transactions per second, Ethereum does only 20 transactions per second, while Bitcoin manages a whopping 7 transactions per second. Now, the fact that they mention Visa, they mention PayPal, leads me to believe that we're looking at one of the top 10 companies in the world. Is that one of the top 10 companies? Now, I don't think that it is. I don't know that PayPal is or is not, but as I go through this morning, looking at the news and trying to get ready for this show, I'm noticing PayPal moving to Solana. And then I'm noticing, and I'm reminded of the Deie. And then in the Telegram, we're talking about this Bitcoin to Ethereum that they posted on their LinkedIn. So now I started to think, like, what is the opportunity? What is there? Could this be? And look, the short answer to this is, hey guys, guess what? Deie is going to partner with one of the top 10 companies in the world to do something. So I'm going to tell you, it is my opinion that if you're not at least a bag holder in Deie, that's probably going to be a mistake. And why is it going to be a mistake? Well, because it is a permissioned blockchain. And I know, look, we're DeFi, we want it to be permissionless, but the business world must have a permissioned system because they have to be able to control what it is that happens on their own blockchain. And that's what Deie provides. And also it uses 1 millionth or 1 billionth the energy that Bitcoin uses, and it does more transactions per second. Now, by the way, that test cost $100,000 to do 8 million transactions. Nobody's doing 8 million transactions per second. Okay. First, however, because you have to spin up enough nodes for that. But when you do this, you can have your own custom built blockchain through Deie, and you can have your own custom nodes for validation and verification. So they have this fantastic opportunity for you as a business to build on. And then the transactions that you do, by the way, 8 million transactions, $100,000 versus 2,000 transactions per second, pennies. You know what I mean? Like it becomes incredibly inexpensive for you to be a validator and earn yield on that situation. Well, let's take this a step further and let's go back over to let's play the numbers game here, and let's see what it looks like if we were to pop up Deie on the chart here. All right, so consolidating in range, been as high as 44 cents just in the last little bit. Now, on the launch, going back towards launch, the high on it's going to be easier, by the way, for me to do it over here. So we're going to do that. You can see here, consolidated. This is, for me, this was the same thing that we saw on, what do you call it? Arbitrum. Also, by the way, if you look at Jasmine, if you look at a whole bunch of these different ones, you kind of see the same pattern. You see the same pattern. You got a nice little pre-sale. You got that, oh, here we go. We making money, dog, kind of move out of this. And then you saw people get exhausted at this range. Now, why are they exhausted at this range? Well, first of all, because new buyers had stopped stepping in. The new buyers stepped in all the way up to $2.24. And then that was kind of the end. And then we got into what's called a range. And then when we got into this range right here, it wasn't pumping enough. And then we saw this sort of lower high start to come in. And that's when the investors who are just there for the pump and dump start to pump and dump. And that's when you get rid of the people who are just not going to make it as a long-term holder. They come out, and that means consolidation comes in. So what happens? We come down into the range for consolidation almost from the launch area. So what does that mean? Well, if you were to look at almost any of these charts over these time frames, then you would see kind of the same thing happen. And then at some point you see just this crazy little here we go moment, right? So this was what happened when you had Arbitrum. Arbitrum came over here, had this consolidation in range. Now, doesn't look the same, by the way, but it's the same. It had this launch, and then it came up through here, went all the way up to like $1.70, had this little moment here, and then boom, all the way down, all the way down. Now it starts to consolidate down, 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 down until it breaks out of its range. And what it did was it came around here like this, and then suddenly broke out on this test over here. And you can see, like, for 4 days, it was just kind of ranging at this spot right here and using it as a bouncing area before it continued on. And then it came into the volume range. The high volume node comes into the volume range, and then boom, it starts to continue that consolidation, but it doesn't break back down. It keeps going. Then it has a big breakout, and then of course you see that big move to 240. Now let's apply that to Deie. So we're looking for the volume node, and where is the trading volume, right? So if we look at this, the volume node is right here at the $1.60 to $1.22 range. So if I'm it's $1.72, so $1.72 to right there, that's the volume range. Now, what happened with Arbitrum? Arbitrum came back up for a test in that range. So what's going to happen here? We're going to get this range for a couple days. We're going to bang around here, come up to the top of the range, and then that's when Arbitrum then launched and started to project itself up to a new all-time high. What did the new all-time high look like? Well, it looked like this right here. So if this plays out that way and we go through this and we're still able to attract new investors coming in, then at a minimum, what you're looking at is from where you are right now, 37 cents, you're looking for a very soon $3 DevE. Now, I am not a financial expert. I'm not telling you that's what will happen. I'm telling you that I'm reading a chart. I'm looking at the history of certain other charts. I'm looking for announcements and things that would be prime motivating factors to get new retail investors into a project. And I'm seeing it clearly on DevE. Now, after this consolidation, you can see here that they're down here at the bottom. You can see there's a big kind of node in that range. That node right there probably means that it's going to break all the way up. It's going to have an easy run to get back up into, I think the first real resistance is going to be about right here. That's going to be at the top of 92 cents. We'll see whether or not it can get through there. There's still resistance. It's going to have to find new buyers. But when the new buyers really start to step in, they say, oh, wow, this is actually a really good project. Then you see it come in through this range. Now, here's the other part to it. 5.85 million market cap. So, just to get back into the range of from here to up here, that's about a 5x. Let's call it a 4x. It's about a 4x to get there. So really what we're talking about is Deie going from a 5.8 million market cap to about a 20 to 25 million market cap for a blockchain. Is that a good one? I mean, that seems kind of simple. It really does seem kind of simple. So if you wonder why I'm bullish on Deie, it's all of these reasons combined with the fact that the team communicates with people. They never let down the community. They always have something up their sleeve. And by the way, when I talk about having something up their sleeve, it's really it's kind of weird here, right? Because you get these different announcements. And by the way, new announcements are coming out all the time. And here's the thing: some of the announcements that you get with a lot of these different tokens that come out here and they talk to you all the time. They give you this, we're partnering with this company, we're partnering with this company, we're partnering with this company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Deie is partnering with TrustFi, with SiriusPad, with Zenix. These are actual projects that I know have value added sort of propositions here. Also, they focused on gaming because they believe that gaming is the future. And look, I'm not going to get too much into the Deie pool here. I'm just going to say that if you have not already, you should consider Deie as something that you hold on to for a short period of time, just to see where it goes. Look, there's a risk involved. They could always have some downward momentum. It could always have some downward sort of pressure. But there were a couple things that were mentioned in a chat. One of them was new exchange listings. The other thing was new partnerships. And they continue to point out new partnerships. And there's opportunity for this thing to grow. And it should get, or could get, real exciting real soon with these announcements. Again, I think they're about 30 days away or something like that. And by the way, if you buy the tokens, you can go to Deie and you can stake your tokens. And then after you stake your tokens, and by the way, if you do it by the 31st of May, then you're going to get in on a bunch of different game launches and you're going to start earning tokens from other projects through the Deie ecosystem just by staking your tokens. So you're going to be earning rewards, and it's not just going to be Deie tokens. You're going to be getting parts of airdrops that are coming through for other tokens. So you're basically grabbing Deie tokens right now. It's almost like Ethereum or Solana. You get diversified, and you get an opportunity for something. Don't miss it, is all I'm saying. Don't miss it. Next up. So Luna Classic burns. We've got a couple of days later, or a couple days later. God damn it! About 3 days from now, we're going to have another burn by Binance. I think it's going to be under $1 billion. By the way, the volume of the volume that's trading right now, not great. It's not setting the world on fire. So I don't know that we're going to continue to see the dynamic sort of what we want to see on Luna Classic, because the price action right now has been pretty good. Not great, but good. We're trading at about a 670 million market cap. What does that look like? That's good enough for 116th in the overall market. Last 24 hours up 3%. Last 7 days, 1.8%. But we've had a nice little move towards some momentum every time. And we're at the spot right now where there's going to be another surge, or at least in my opinion, we're ready for another surge on Luna Classic. And quite simply, look, this is what happens. We have this move here. Then we have this dump down, then we have this big move over here, taking us up to 3 zeros 25, right? Well, that is still a long-standing trend line. With that long-standing trend line, we got to keep coming back and hitting it again, right? Every once in a while, we're having that. Well, it looks like we're on that path right now for that breakout. This is what happened the last time we got that consolidation in range, and then boom, we had the breakout. And it's been since that move right there, it's been this amount of time. So we're overdue for that next big move. So I think that next big move is coming very, very soon for Luna Classic. Now, it was a long time between this, and that's fair to say, but it wasn't right here, and it wasn't right here when we got spikes. Even off of dips, we still got these little spikes. So I think that we're due for another big move on Luna Classic. So a lot of that also comes down to like burns and shit like that. And look, we've got burn proposals up, we've got repegs being worked on. There's a lot happening in the background. And if you haven't already, there's plenty of different projects. Today's project that I'm talking about is Galactic Shift, and it's a TCG. If you like trading card games, it's basically standard in the industry. It's going to do, it's something that you haven't seen before, but it's on the Luna Classic ecosystem. And that's important. So if you're a Luna Classic fan, then you got to engage with the projects, you got to engage with the products, you got to buy some of the tokens, and go to coinhall.org and look at Luna Classic, and you can see all the meme coins that are actually actively being traded in that ecosystem. So again, you look at this, there's another pump getting ready to happen, is all I'm saying. Like, it is my opinion that we're about to have a big rip. Now, again, probably gonna come down. However, we found our floor over here last year, I think, and I think that was the floor. And then once we go from that floor, then it's all uphill from there. It's just, sometimes it can be slow. Sometimes it's going to be a slow. What we would like to do is catch this range right here of 1700, because what we're doing right now, we're in the volume area at 140 or 301. So what we need is a little impetus to start making that move. And I think we're going to 10x from here by the end of the year. And that's, by the way, that's not a huge move, but it is a 10x. So I do think that that's going to happen. So I would be watching out for Terra Luna Classic as you go along. Saitama on Sol, not having a great day, not having a great couple of days, in fact. However, volume still robust at 180,000 per day. Market cap down just a little bit. But what happened in the meantime? Well, Rodney came out with his own token. And then when he came out with his own token, it was having a significant little pump, 1.13 market cap, and he changed it over here. This is now the Daddy token. Somebody made a comical version of Rodney up here, hilarious. But as you can see right here, like, it's kind of taking some of the steam out of some of these other tokens, because it's on the base network. By the way, it's on the base blockchain. So if you have any base Ethereum, then this would be a great opportunity for you to get in. Very cheap, inexpensive for transactions. And look, this thing could absolutely send. Now, the fact that it's up here, I'm not in it. I'm not in it because I launched a token, and now my token got rugged and robbed, basically. My wallet got hacked, as you guys know. And then the day that it unlocked, like, these guys knew exactly. Like, I'm convinced that they know me, whoever it is, and they absolutely rugged the project. And I mean, there wasn't a lot of liquidity in the project, but I gave tokens to Rodney when I launched, and I said, dude, are you gonna give me some tokens for this? And he's like, oh no, man, you got to buy. I'm trying to do things right. Like, I was trying to fuck people. Oh, like, what are you? So anyway, so I'm not in it. I mean, Rodney and I are friends, but I mean, I don't like that. Like, if I launch a project and I give you tokens, and I mean, and then you do the same, and you're like, oh no, you got to buy on the open exchange. Fuck that. You know what I mean? So, but I am certainly going to be supportive of anybody who gets into it. And I think that, look, it's got that opportunity for a big move. So I would be looking for, a massive move off of it. Remember, Brett is out there too. And Brett on, well, you know what? I'm actually looking at the wrong Brett. Brett on the base chain is the one that I wanted to see. There we go. Brett on base. There we go. 842 million market cap. So this thing has got some real opportunity. And look, I gave you guys a long time ago that this is what I expect to happen. And look at this. It banged right off of these lines, and it's off to the moon after that. And I can't believe I put the wrong. I cared so little about what I was putting on here for Brett that I put one of the mini ones on there. All right, so make sure you hit the like button. By the way, if you haven't already, it helps push me up in the algorithm. Doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't hurt your finger unless you put like a pin on the like button. It's just so you can cause yourself to bleed every time, and you got to give up blood for it. But base 842 million market cap. This is the hottest meme on base. I told you guys I think that Brett is going to be the big one, and it is playing out like the big one. But look, maybe, just maybe, Rodney. Look, if it does 50 million market cap, that's 50x from where it is right now. That's not a lot. So get your shit together and get in. Just because I'm not in doesn't mean that you can't be. So, but certainly check out Satama on Sol. It's going to be listed in a few. There's a lot of shit working. So make sure that you do something with it. And the rest of it's going to be sponsored by Trademaster Ninja, guys. If you're looking for entry positions, if you're looking to make money in crypto, then look, there's always ways, but one of the easiest ways right now, get yourself on a low time frame, get yourself Trademaster Ninja, and just start letting it do its job. If you let it do its job, it's going to make you money. Is it going to make you a millionaire? Probably not. It's going to make you a bunch of thousandaire? Yeah, probably. In fact, right here is how it's running on Bitcoin right now on the half hour. It's giving you entry positions and stop losses. And look, sometimes you're going to lose, sometimes you're going to win, but it finds your good impulse moves. And think about this, the amount of money that you made by entering into your position right here, and then the amount of money that you made on this with this exit, then the amount of money that you made by entering into this position and following this and letting this thing run and do itself. And it gets you out here with a gigantic profit. When you do this, then all these little moves here where you get like this move right here, you get this big pump right here, you get this profitable move, then you get an exit in profit. It's saving and protecting your money is what it does. It's trying to make sure that you don't get wrecked, right? And it gets you out. And look, sometimes you got to take a loss. Sometimes a loss is a win. Because it was going to go down even more. And sometimes it gets it wrong. It's looking for patterns. It doesn't know. It's just looking for patterns right now. But right now, it gave you an entry position on a short, and it's up on the short right now. It continued on for that short. Now, how far it goes, I don't know how far down it's going to end up, but it's already given you a profit taker. So if you are not already, you should consider getting into high IQ down here. Solana, what is it telling you to do on Solana right now? Boom, boom. All right, gave you an entry position, then it gave you an exit position. Hasn't given you a buy signal yet, but it's looking like it's consolidating in this range. But here's the thing: if I look at it, what I'm seeing on it is, look at this. We're going up, up, up. Right now, problem is, and the reason that this is dipping is bearish divergence right here. So you saw this go up, and then you saw this go down, and that means that less people are pumping the price higher, which means they're trapping people into a position, and then boom, you saw it come all the way down. Well, now it's come down, it's had its little corrective move, and now it's probably back up into this range to go up into 175, 178. So, and when you get that green flag for the entry position, go. As a matter of fact, if we move it down to the 15-minute, you might even be getting the signal already. We haven't gotten the signal. We haven't got it yet. But when it gets back into this range, I would guess that will probably flash you a green buy signal and run up into the 175. But you wouldn't know that because you're not using high IQ. So certainly check it out. Look at Ethereum over here. Looks like it's shorted. Yeah, so it's shorted right now and it's continuing on. It gave you this short right here. And this, by the way, was yesterday at 9:45 a.m. after this show or during this show, gave you a short. It took you all the way down here, and then it gave you a hard short exit, and then it let it run a little bit more, didn't give you a long position. Then it gave you another short position here, and it told you to get in at 38.36, and then boom, it told you take profit along the way right here. Go ahead and take a little bit out. And then what did it do? It pumped back up, but it wasn't looking good enough to get out of the trade. And then guess what? It continued to come back down, and now you're in a bigger profit range because you followed it. So it's simple. All you guys have to do is, first of all, have the money to buy high IQ, and then secondly, want to make money. That's it. So Dog with Hat, Looking at Dog with Hat again, we're using 15-minute here. We got an entry position over here at 365, ripped up here. Told you to take profit at 11%, which is probably 100%. You got all your money back out, and then your remaining balance, your remaining bag. I told you to exit 383, so it gave you an entry at 365 and exit at 383. So you made a huge profit and a huge gain. That's 5%. So overall, if you took the 100% profit out, if you took your initial investment out on a 10x, then boom, you made it, and then you end up with another 5x on your remaining bag. So, I mean, this was a good trade long term. And now what's it doing? Stair stepping its way up. It's going to give you another entry position, or it'll give you a short position coming up soon. But I mean, guys, if you're not, look, if you want to make money, it's going to cost you a little bit of money to figure it out, right? And I mean, I don't know what to tell you other than if you buy something that gives you signals, use the signals, and you'll make money. If you don't, then you're not gonna make money. It should be that simple. Let's go look at the liquidation. I told you guys that we would look at this. So here is the 24-hour on Binance liquidation. Let's see what this looks like. All right, so I would expect to move down into the 67.1 sort of range right here. You can see that we're kind of ranging in between this pocket and this pocket, but it looks like we're kind of slowly creeping down into the lower range. So I would expect 67,001 to be on the menu, maybe even 66,005 in the short term. As I go back to Justin W says, where do I go to buy Deie and stake it? So, I guess the contract address is right here. It's on Uniswap, by the way. So it's easy enough. It's easy enough to buy. And as far as staking goes, then you would click on their web link over here, and it's dev.e.io. And then there's staking and Launchpad right here. So you would click on the staking and Launchpad. And then you would get started right here. And then you just attach your wallet and you're ready to go. Here, let's attach the wallet. All right, and then you can just get started from there. And there you go. This is all the stuff that you need. And then this is one of the projects that's out here. Fias. This is the Litcraft Metaverse. And by the way, Litcraft was number 2 in upcoming MMO or upcoming games on like Game Hub or some kind of major crypto gaming institution calls this one of the like top 2 games in all of crypto. So and not just this place, by the way, multiple places. So I would certainly be going to check this out. Okay. Now EXVG, by the way, remember we got in here at 6 cents. It's now trading at 13.5 cents. I'm divested for I think 6 months. So I got 800 tokens so far out of 10,000. But I mean, guys, look, I did a video for $1,000. They gave me like 350 up front, 650 in tokens. And now I have $1,400. Assuming it's going up, by the way. I'm not assuming that it's even going down. But so just so you guys know, on the short-term time frame here, as you can see, it's not really breaking out, if you will. It's just kind of in this range right now, but it continues to slowly increase. Well, they're going on the Epic Game Launcher pretty soon. Epic Game Launcher, of course, is becoming more crypto savvy and a lot more Web3 oriented. So it gave you a buy signal here, and it's just we're kind of sitting on that one, waiting for that long-term boom that I think is getting ready to happen. And you're going to see something like this: a big 15% gain, a big 19% gain, big 25% gain. If you just follow this right here, you can see that this has been giving you some really good gains. If you just, again, follow the signals on high IQ. API, I told you guys, I got it at 270. It came all the way down here to $1.88 not that long ago. This was in the middle of April, came way down. And then boom, look at this. Now it's just ripping, absolutely ripping. Follow the signals with high IQ, and you're going to make out like a bandit. Now, as far as Bencoin goes, for those of you that don't know, let's, we don't really cover Bencoin, but not because it's just very little engagement in Bencoin right now. That's as Ben works through his issues and finished off his issues. You might notice that Ben's Twitter account disappeared yesterday, and that was at the request of his attorney, who asked him to shut up until until the lawsuit is completely done, the receivership, until everything is completed. So you might see less of Ben over the next couple of days. He's going real quiet. But here's the thing. What would you do if all of a sudden he got his BitBoy Crypto Twitter account back? Will he? I don't know. I think he will. What about his channel? I don't know. I think he will. I think that all this is happening. And I think that there's a delusion amongst a failing company, especially people. And by the way, people are people rumors all the time, right? One of the rumors is that several of the people there super not happy about the way things are happening over there because they thought it would be easy and that Ben Armstrong was nobody and that the reason that people were watching was because of TJ in the background for some fucked up reason, or because Nick Diamandi, head of Civil War vets or content creation, whatever, because these guys are putting together a fantastic program. That bullshit. The reason that they were doing it, and by the way, I actually like their set. I think they actually did a phenomenal job with the set and stuff like that. But Deie, dog shit. Joshua Jakingstein or whatever the fuck his name is, dog shit. Fun, some of these guys might even be fun. You never know. But I'm told that there are people within the organization not real happy about what's going on. Now, of course, if I were to say this publicly, like I'm doing right now, then they're going to go out of their way to be like, oh, of course, that's not even true. There's nobody unhappy over here. Everybody is super fucking happy. And then the next thing you know, 5 people are no longer with the company. You know what I mean? And then they'll be like, oh, that was just an outlier sort of thing. Bullshit. So expect some bullshit over the next couple of days, I would say. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out and exactly what happens. So, but that's it, guys. That's my time. Thank you so much for tuning in. The liquidity heat map, again, I do think that there's some downward pressure that's about to happen in the market. I think we're being driven right now by meme coins. Remember, venture capital companies are getting into meme coins and stuff like that. So if you are interested, become a member of the channel. And by the way, look at this shit right here. I got Deadpool on a unicorn with a rainbow coming out of his ass. That's my shirt for the day. So, boom. But, oh, by the way, got my own t-shirts coming out pretty soon, and I'm going to have ads every week for the t-shirts that are coming out pretty soon. And I'm going to try to make some really fantastic t-shirts for you guys. And if you want to support me, the best way that you can support this channel is become a member. If you want to talk about a specific token, drop a super chat. Help me out so that I can continue to help you guys out. And I will continue to give you bangers and winners. Look, like every other one. I'll tell you when I think things are getting ready to take off. I'll tell you when things are getting ready to move. I'm watching the charts. I'm trying to do it for you. So you help me, I help you. And tomorrow we got a new Cryptonomy ad because I got an announcement to make. And until then, we got the old one. So here you go. Pepe just hit an all-time high. And to celebrate, Cryptonomy.finance is giving away Pepe up to $1,000, a total of $100,000 prize pool. First, follow Cryptonomy_Fi on X, initiate a deposit at Cryptonomy.finance, start staking or join the launch pool, and then retweet this post. The deadline is going to be June 15. I just earned 0.1012 Bitcoin. That was $600. We locked it in. We got 0.037 Bitcoin. That is the equivalent of $1,800. We made $2,400 in the last couple of months off of using the staking mechanism with Cryptonomy.finance. The big one is the launch pool. Look at the returns that are coming through. We got 12x on Theta Knots, Lifeform 4.8x, TARS Protocol 13x. You guys are familiar with TARS X. I've talked about them before. So if you want to earn some Pepe, then make sure you sign up at Cryptonomy.finance today. Make sure you follow the X account. Make sure that you like and retweet that, and then make sure you make a deposit and start staking either in the flexible, fixed,